friends, it's Kay. Welcome back to my channel, and today I am bringing you along on my spring break adventures and the books I read while I go about. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you later on. Welcome to America!
Non-stop service around tomorrow. Your express train keeps on rolling to the future. Right by two of my favorite spots.
Like it on record that I did not film again, and do you see the X? That is a strike.
Yeah, nose fair. No, you did it! No, you did it! Okay, fine.
Thanks, Bray. Slushy, say cheers.
Cheers, Slushy.
I've got an internet crush. She's not a celebrity, but she's taken. So can't help falling in love. Can't take the hint and give up. My mama told me don't talk to people you haven't met. I guess my mama was right. But it's not 'cause everybody you meet is dangerous, but 'cause they'll break your heart. 'Cause she plays it so cool, making up her own rules. And I'm a loser for thinking I've got any shot in the dark. Now it's hitting me hard. Tell me, what am I supposed to do? 'Cause I've got an internet crush. She's not a celebrity, but she's taken. Still can't help falling in love. Can't take the hint and give up. I've got an internet crush. Internet crush. Internet crush. Internet crush. But if we met somewhere else, would things be different? Or am I wasting my time overanalyzing everything that I never said? Why can't I make up my mind? 'Cause she plays it so cool, making up her own rules. And I'm a loser for thinking I've got any shot in the dark. Now it's hitting me hard.
Y'all don't even understand this. This right here might just be my favorite panel in the entire franchise. And seeing it in context makes it even better. Because I'd only seen it on Pinterest. But this is beautiful. This is amazing.
Tell me, what am I
And her.
supposed to do?
She's just such a baddie. Like slay. Slay your slay. You know, she's slaying literally. Wow, I have been atrocious at updating this vlog because it is the last day of spring break. I go back to work tomorrow, and I actually did a lot more reading. I did more reading in the last 3 days than I have done in the entire month of March, so go me. I also think this is the first time I have ever actually shown my library cart. I love it and highly recommend getting one if you're able to, because it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying to have. But that's not why we're here. So I think I went on a mood reading binge spree because I wanted to read everything. So I read nothing for like I've been in a reading slump like all of March and most of February. And I finally got my reading mojo back literally the last 3 days. Honestly, this is a whole nother video I could do on wanting to read but never reading. But that's not, I gotta close out this vlog. So let's go over a brief recap of what I've read this week. And I feel bad about it, but I finally decided to DNF This Golden Flame. And I feel bad, but literally, I just finally told myself the only reason you are trying so hard to get into this and read it and push through it is because it was a Fairy Loot book. And I'm trying to get through my Fairy Loot owned TBR. And honestly, no one has talked about this one. And I wanted to have one of those rare Fairy Loot finds. And I've always been intrigued by this one because I'd never heard of it when it came in my box. And honestly, I'm a character-driven reader, and I just finally have to accept that about myself, except for thrillers. Most of the time I can get behind thrillers without liking characters, but I also don't read a lot of thrillers, and I think we all kind of know why now. But I don't know, I liked the found family moments, and I really liked just the talk of history and history being written, and if it's lies and it gets cemented into a history book and local legends and all that, then it becomes truth. And I kind of liked that discussion, and I liked the found family moments, but underlyingly, I just had no urge to pick it up and had reached the 50% mark, and I was just like, you know what? There's so many more books to read. And one of the things that mainly cemented that is that on my Kindle, I went through 2 full-length books in the span of a day and a half each, and I just couldn't even bother to pick up the other one anymore. So that's when I finally just decided enough's enough, DNF it. And honestly, it's a relief because there's so many more Fairy Loot books that I own that are on my backlist. Some of them are actually right here. And there's a few mothers up here from my 24 books to read in 24 video. And also, look at all these Book of the Month books. Like, I have enough to read, and I don't need to keep pushing myself to read a book I'm not thoroughly enjoying. So, I have a fairy loot book that I just haven't gotten around to filming the unboxing yet, and I haven't had time to actually unbox it yet, but that is the Scarlet Alchemist, and you guys, 5 stars, hands down. Love of fantasy reunited. I have not had the brain cells to tolerate a true fantasy this year yet. This book solidified it. Like, 5 stars, hands down. I could not put this book down. I was on, literally, I read this book, I read 415 pages of it in one day. And I stayed up late to do it. It was amazing. There was found family. There was a really, really cute romance in Blossom. It was actually delved into some horror stuff. There was actually like 2 scenes. I just looked at the book like, and I just had to like break check. So I was like, what? And there was some true horror elements in this, and I actually really enjoyed them. And our female main character was the morally gray female character everyone has ever talked about. Like, she could beat Casbreaker. Like, she, not even unhinged, but she is so ambitious and ruthless because she knows what she wants, and she's going to go after it in any way she can, and she's going to do anything she can to help provide for her family and her cousins, who are basically her siblings at this point. And that trio was just so wholesome and wholehearted, and even though they're all like varying levels of morally gray, they just loved each other so much and supported each other, and it was so awesome to read about. And also, there was just something really, really funny about all the guys in this book are squeamish at blood, but all the girls, they are down for murder. They are down for everything. And it was just so funny to read. So our main character, she is very closed off. She's very grumpy, I would say, but she's not grumpy. She's just very cold. And our prince is not. Kylie Lee Baker actually called him Crown Prince Himbo in one of her Instagram posts. And ever since, it just makes me laugh because it's so true, because he loves his palace ducks. He looks at our main character, and even with everything she's doing, she's covered in blood for like 9% of this book. And he just looks at her with so much admiration and so much he softens her down, but not in a way that takes away any of her power. And it was so beautiful to read. And the ending, the last 30 pages of this book, I could not read fast enough. I need the Blood Orchid like now. And Fairy Loot, you need to drop your special edition of it because I need it. I need it. So, think of me until October when I can finally get the sequel to this amazing book. And also on my Kindle, thank you. I don't know, everyone says that audiobooks are the fastest way they get through books. And that's not me. I don't know what it is. I think the ADHD of me, I can't do it. I can't focus on audiobooks, and I can't find a hobby or another activity that I can do while I'm listening to the audiobook to where I'm fully invested in it, but ebooks. Ebooks are my go-to because I love reading on my phone. I have my phone on me all the time, so it's the most convenient way for me to consume books when I am always on the go. And I love my Kindle. I don't know, I think it's because in this whole electronic age now, my brain is getting less and less hardwired for picking up books, and I just can't do the listening. And it makes me so sad because I love physical reading, but just the way my brain is functioning right now, ebooks are just my way to go. So that said, I picked up one of the e-arcs I actually had that came out a while ago, but I just never got to the e-arc version of it. I actually picked it up from Libby and got it onto my Kindle. It just was what I did for The Scarlet Alchemist. I'm finally a Libby girl, guys. I'm finally a Libby girl. But that is Bookshop Cinderella. And you guys, my first pure historical romance of the year. I love historical romances. I think we've established that. You guys, it was so good. It was so good. 5 stars. So in this book, you know that trope where men are utterly obsessed for their love interest, but they don't know it yet. So almost all of their inner monologue is just complimenting them or thinking about them, but they don't know they're in love yet. So they're just whipped and obsessed and they don't even know it. But we as the reader do. It's the best feeling ever. And honestly, he didn't think he was, but immediately he was into Evie. It was very sweet. And this whole thing comes about because in this book we have Evie. She is a bookshop owner and she is running her own business as a woman in the Victorian era, and she's on the lower skirts. Her uncle is a baron and she has gone to finishing school and all that, but she is not truly part of society. She never had a debut. She is content to work in her bookshop and make her own life. And our other main guy, Max, he is a duke, and his cousin has been working with Evie to do catering and events for the hotel she works at, but she has to go on business for the hotel. So she asks her cousin to go to the bookstore and get the recipes and all that for their next event from Evie. He has a whole side plot. He wants to get married to the perfect Duchess. Think Anthony Bridgerton's Scope with Kate kind of a thing. That's what he wants. He wants a Duchess who knows her duty and who will perform it well, because his last marriage, emotional baggage, and he is not going to fall in love. He's not going to marry for love again, because in the face of duties and society and the cruelties of the aristocrats, love doesn't mean much. And when he goes into the bookstore, he is trying to secure this perfect Duchess marriage. So he is watching her rambunctious brother, and they kind of disrespect Evie's bookshop, and she is not okay with that. So later, she tells them off, rightly so, and later, after all of them leave, the Duke is with the 3 boys, and they are bad-mouthing Evie, and he steps in, and they end up getting a wager. And it sounds bad, but it's not. Just read the book, trust me. And they end up making a wager that if she can dance every dance at the Duke's next ball, he wins. And if not, then they win, because they think she's plain and unable to get dances and all that kind of thing. And she agrees because her bookshop's flooded and she has nowhere else to go. It's just great. And the second book, which I did not know, but this is like a little series, and the next book comes out in June. It's following his cousin, and I cannot wait to see more of these two. They better be in that book. But it was just really an awesome surprise to go from kind of like a slumpy month to getting 3 5-star reads back to back to back. So that was Scarlet Alchemist, Bookshop Cinderella, and I finally did it, you guys. I finally continued on with Spy Family, and yes, this is my other 5-star. You might have already seen some of it in B-roll, but I finally read The Cruise Ship Adventure. It was so fun. It was so good. And yes, I did give you that clip of Lloyd and that vacation get up, because it is literally my favorite panel in the entire Spy Family universe. And I saw it on Pinterest one day, and I was like, this is great. And to finally read it in context and get Ania's reaction, I was laughing. And I was reading it in the car, so my dad just looks over and he's like, and I had to try to explain to him why this image was so funny, and he just went with it. I gotta love my parents. They just go with my bookish tendencies, and I love them for that. But yes, another volume of Spy Family is now checked off the list, and I am so happy to be back in this world. I knew I would be. I still just love the story, love this family, and they own my heart. They all just own my heart. And with that, thank you so much for sticking around until the very end. I am sorry for not updating you more periodically, but it's okay, because I hope you enjoyed the B-roll footage and all the little adventures I went on during spring break, and the books you got to see intermittently within there. I shall see you next time in my next video. If you want to find me elsewhere, my social medias are always linked below. And if you want to get more content from me, please consider subscribing and sticking around my bookish corner of the interweb. And until next time, I'm Kay. Bye!